Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session of Role of Zinc in the Future. Before we go to the session, let me introduce you the concept and the history of 12th Asian Metallurgy. As many of you know, Asian Metallurgy show started in 1997 as a ground show, and it used to be held at Goregaon, Bombay Exhibition Center, but after COVID, it was transformed to digital platform, and we restarted it again in 2021 as digital show, and then 2022, and now it is 2023 show. This is 12th Asian Metallurgy. This is the 12th edition of Asian Metallurgy show. Okay. Now, what is Asian Metallurgy? It comprises of a world exposition which has virtual stands. You can visit those stands, and it also comprises of series of webinars which we conduct online with the issues related to steel and metals industry. We have discussed about digitalization, we have discussed about the commodity trading, we have discussed about the green steel making, and today's subject is equally important for metallurgical industry, the role of zinc in the future. As we all know, the role of zinc in the industry is growing, and zinc is finding new applications and new areas of uses. So we have a team of experts who will discuss about the zinc usage, the possibility of zinc usage in the new sectors, and as such the role of zinc in the future. I mean, in the industry. I am very happy to welcome Mr. L Pugazhenthy. Who doesn't know Mr. L Pugazhenthy in the industry? L Pugazhenthy, well known as Mr. Pug, a past national president of the Indian Institute of Metals, and also executive director of India Lead Zinc Development Association, a 62-year-old non-profit, non-commercial body that disseminates technical information on lead, zinc, as well as their downstream markets. He is a metallurgical engineer by profession, followed by post-graduation in business management as well as marketing and sales management, with more than 45 years experience in lead, zinc, market development, technical advisory services, etc. Mr. Puk was the chairman of a sectional committee of Bureau of Indian Standards. He has drafted rules for collection of green recycling of used lead acid batteries for the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India. Because Mr. Pugazhenthy received the prestigious international lead medal as the Asian Battery Conference in Macau, China in 2009. For his significant contribution to the lead industry, Mr. Pugazhenthy was also awarded Hindustan Zinc Limited Gold Medal in 2002 as platinum medal in 2014, both by Indian Institute of Metals for his contribution for his contribution to the Indian metallurgical industry. He also received the Distinguished Aluminous Award from National Institute of Technology, Trichy, in 2014. Let me add something. Mr. Pug, before ILZDA, Mr. Pug was executive director of SAIMA. There also his contribution was very significant. And before that, Mr. Pug had been working in SR Steel, if I'm not mistaken, sir. So you can see Mr. Pug has a very long and very distinguished contribution to the metallurgical industry. I am very happy to welcome. He has been our advisor and our well-wisher for a long time. Thank you, Mr. Pug. As always, your support is there to us. I am very happy to welcome Dr. Rahul Sharma, who serves as the Director India for International Zinc Association. His professional background includes a tenure as a head of business development in Porous India Private Limited, a Tata Steel enterprise, overseeing nationwide sales and marketing of porous products tailored for Indian market for nearly 3 years. Prior to this, he held the role of area manager of sales and marketing in Hindalco Industries Limited for almost 8 years, where he managed the sales and marketing of aluminum flat rolled products in the northern zone. Welcome, Dr. Rahul. I would also welcome Ms. Ruchika Jha, who is the founder of Arkya Consulting, WIM 100, co-founder Women in Mining India, country chair India G100, Sustainable Mining, ex-group CMO and CEO, Silver, Vedanta Limited, senior industrial executive with 18 plus years track record of improving operating performance in dynamic and complex environments. Deep experience across P&L leadership, internal consulting, strategy formulation, B2B sales, GTM, B2B, e-commerce as group CMO and CEO, silver and sustainable procurement and supply chain in commercial leadership roles. Welcome, Ms. Ruchika. Unfortunately,
Thank
her
you.
is not on, but she is very much with us. So we will start the discussion. And I will first go to Mr. Pug only. Sir, let us have some overview from you regarding the zinc industry and its present applications, and the present uses as such. Mr. Pug.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my good friend Chandekar. I must compliment you and your team for organizing this 12th edition of Asian Metallurgy with an expo on steel and metal and also a variety of webinars. And all of them are very useful. I really appreciate your passion and your dynamism for sustaining our profession, metallurgical profession, with this kind of activity consistently. Our compliments to you. I don't know why you were reading that long, boring biodata of mine. I think you said well known, that's it. And I need not have read all those things. Coming to overview of zinc, zinc is an ancient metal used in brass, etc., brass utensil, long time ago. And in fact, if you go to Udaipur, there is a heritage site, the oldest crude distillation furnace for making zinc in Udaipur in Rajasthan. It's a very historic metal. That's one side of the story. Now, zinc in India currently is really doing exceedingly well. If I remember 70s, 80s, 90s, etc., India was totally import dependent for zinc. We were having canalized imports through MMTC, and we were importing from Canada, Europe, and Australia, etc. That was the last decade, 80, 90, 2000, etc. And from 2002 onwards, ever since Vedanta Group, Mr. Anil Agarwal took over, really, it has really done exceedingly well. In the past, we were very small. There were small growths in zinc demand, maybe 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. But last few years, I'm just saying, Hindustan Zinc went on expanding their smelting capacity, their mining capacity, their power capacity. Zinc production is through electrolytic route, power intensive operation. So they did excellent job before 2002. I won't say it was really rosy there. It was all in the public sector. For everything, Ministry of Mines had to give approval, even for nominal technology imports or import of spare part or whatever. But from 2000 onward, brightest history of India has begun. And today, I would say 2002, 2023, Hindustan Zinc made a production of 8,21,000 tons of zinc, from import dependence to 8,25,000 tons of zinc production, and meeting our domestic demand. They are also exporting zinc now. Isn't it very interesting? As far as the applications are concerned in India, like the rest of the world, galvanizing sector is the largest end user of zinc. In India, 72% of zinc goes in galvanizing of steel sheets, steel structural, steel pipes, steel wires, guardrails and telecom towers, railway electrification towers, transmission line towers, any number of applications. Galvanizing is the largest, 72%, whereas the world uses only about 60% of zinc in galvanizing. India is using much more, 72% of zinc in galvanizing. Then you have also die casting, which is mainly for auto components, builders hardware, heat sink sets. Die casting is the second application. Not a big application, that's about 7% in India, die casting. Then you also have brass and alloy, which is about 10%. Zinc dry cell batteries, that's about 3%, and rest of them is all small. So galvanizing is the largest use sector. You know, the demand of steel is demand of zinc is closely linked to demand of steel. And India, the second largest steel producer in the world, we are producing so much steel, or 120, 125 million tons of steel. Therefore, the growth of zinc in galvanizing. So that's how it's a beautiful picture currently in the country.
Yes, definitely, and you are sounding very optimistic about the future use as well. But sir, at this point of time, I wanted to ask you, what is the generally what is the role of associations like you or Dr. Rahul Sharma? I will come to him later. But they are you both are running the associations, so you are the best judge of the sentiment in the industry. And what is your take on the role of such bodies, which are how why they are required to push the industry ahead? Maybe you can talk about ILZDA, and I will ask Dr. Rahul to talk about the International Zinc Association. Please, sir.
Excellent question, Chandekar sir. Mostly industry associations were trade bodies lobbying with the government for duties, taxes, protection,
Yeah,
etc. But
yeah,
unlike those trade bodies, ILZDA is purely a technical body.
yes,
International information, international R&D results, international trends we try to bring into the country through seminars, conferences, publications, participate in international events, etc. So the Indian industry needs upgradation, technology upgradation, market development, standardization. So in all these areas, you need a lot of expertise, technical expertise. That is where ILZDA specialized in the 62 years, and we are excellent collaborators, International Zinc Association, International Lead Association in many parts of the world. And that is how we are able to bring the latest technical information, technical advice, technology inputs, etc., into the Indian industry. That's exactly ILZDA is doing. And
yeah,
one more thing I should tell you, while we educate the consumers of zinc or lead in the country, battery manufacturers, etc., we also educate the government sector, CPWD, MES, railways, power grid, RDSO. We educate them how to use zinc efficiently and economically. We also address engineering community, civil engineers, architects, builders. That is how we are trying to bring a turnaround in the knowledge of all these sectors. That's ILZDA's role. You can
okay.
ask Rahul also
Yeah,
similar question.
definitely, definitely. At this stage, I will go to Dr. Rahul. Dr. Rahul, you can have your opening remarks about the zinc sector, its application, usage, and also the role of India International Zinc Association in boosting the industry ahead, pushing the industry ahead. Dr. Rahul.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chandekar. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for organizing this 12th edition of the Steel and Metal Expo. And I've always found you very passionate person regarding various metals, you know. So yes, that is really commendable. Regarding the zinc role for the future, I will say what I foresee that zinc's role in the future appears very promising, particularly in various industries. So
Mm-hmm.
it's essential for battery technology with zinc air batteries, zinc bromide batteries, zinc nickel batteries. These are the few energy storage applications which have developed and few of them which are under developing phase. Additionally, zinc plays a crucial role in galvanizing steel, providing corrosion resistance and extending the lifespan of the structures and in totality infrastructure. So as technology advances, zinc's versatility may contribute significantly to sustainable energy solutions and infrastructure development. Apart from that, during the COVID time, you might have seen some sort of increase noise about the consumption of zinc, because when vaccines were not available in the market, every doctor was prescribing zinc based supplementation so that we all human beings can increase our immunity. So as you know that zinc is a vital micronutrient and every human being requires zinc on daily basis. We eat and excrete out zinc daily, but till the time zinc stays inside your body, it increases your immunity to 4 times, minimum 4 times. Yeah, and especially during the change of season, one should take zinc. So zinc have got healthcare applications. Then zinc goes into the agriculture. So as you know that zinc is a vital micronutrient and all the plants, they require zinc. But unfortunately, 50% of Indian soil is zinc deficient. So that means the plants, the crops, they cannot absorb zinc into them. And uh, if we translate that into a bigger sense, probably when we consume or when we eat those crops, we are not getting zinc in our diet. So we will be zinc deficient. So that's why government of India has recommended controlled uses of zinc in fertilizers as per the fertilizer control order FCO policy. Then zinc goes into galvanization. Probably Mr. Pug has already covered that. Then zinc have got antibacterial applications. Brass, for example, brass is an alloy of zinc and copper. So zinc have got antibacterial properties. Antibacterial means suppose there is a brass handle in the hotel, right? And you have touched the handle, and after that we are in the queue, and I am also touching that handle. So that means it should not so happen that the bacteria from one person should affect another person or can travel to other person. So zinc have got that antibacterial application. That means any bacteria which got sticks with the door handle, that will automatically be killed. So that's antibacterial application. Then zinc is also used in the making of thin film solar cells. That means photovoltaic application. And you are very, you know it, that how government of India and the other nations, when India launched this ISA, International Solar Alliance, it's a group of 126 countries. So they all have pledged that they will increase uses of renewable energy applications, and obviously solar will be one of them. So I am foreseeing various big applications of zinc in the future. So yeah, that's what I can say.
And about the role of International Zinc Association.
Oh yes, so International Zinc Association, it's a non-for-profit organization. So we do not have any commercial product, and we are present in all the continents. It has been formed by global zinc and steel companies. So all the global steel companies like ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel, Bao Steel, Samsung Steel, ArcelorMittal, POSCO, Tata Steel, and then major zinc producers like Glencore, Hindustan Zinc, Rio Tinto, Norenda, this Nexa Resources. They all are our member, and apart from that, we have regional associates also. For example, India Led Zinc Development Association, they are our regional associate member.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have affiliate members. So basically, these are fertilizer companies or zinc die casting companies. But yes, we have our own labs where we develop technologies. So we are working on various new technologies. Obviously, for example, colored zinc, colored galvanizing, right? So the colored galvanizing is going to be a reality very soon. So our scientists are working on that. Then our scientists are also working on the zinc battery energy storage solutions, and then nano zinc technology that is being used for the stealth, for the stealth fighter aircrafts. So these, and then submarine battery applications. So there are vast, I mean, huge applications on which we are working. Yeah.
Great. Thanks very much, Dr. Rahul, for your initial comments, and of course that information regarding the agricultural application and healthcare application of zinc were really not known to me, and I believe not known to a lot of people. So special thanks for that, sharing that information. And now I'll go to Ruchika. Ruchika, are you there?
Yes, very much.
Good. So now we were discussing about the role of various associations in zinc. So I would like to have your opening comments, as well as you are co-founder of so many associations, which I just now read. So you tell us something about those associations and their role in the industry, as well as their role in the zinc, if there is any role in the zinc industry. So first your opening comments, and then about your associations, trade bodies where you are operating.
No, sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Chandekar, for the opportunity. And I must also applaud the contribution you're making to the steel as well as the non-ferrous metals industry at large. And also thank you for the opportunity to, share the stage with such veterans like Cook sir and Rahul today in this discussion. I hope my voice is audible.
Yes,
There may be a
very
little
audible,
disturbance.
very much audible. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So I think this is an amazing topic that we are discussing here today, and I'm actually short of words because Fuksar and Rahul have already covered most of the points. But I think what I would still like to add is that India is currently in a very sweet spot as far as it comes to the steel demand as well as the role of zinc, particularly because I believe that our economy is extremely resilient. Whenever we see that the demand is going down, all of a sudden you see that after the next couple of years, there will be interventions by the government like PLI scheme. The producers as well as the consumers will also, sort of go full throttle, and then the economy as well as the zinc demand bounces back. There's a clear correlation between economic progress and zinc demand. I think a GDP factor of 1.5 to 2x of GDP is what we would see in the zinc demand as well. And right now, of course, with so much of impetus on rural electrification as well as smart city development, the basic I think use of zinc, as Pukhtar as well as Rahul mentioned, is in galvanizing steel, and steel is the backbone of all the infrastructure development and construction projects happening in the country, all the airports, all the metros, all the smart cities, etc. So we are currently very much in a sweet spot. The awareness amongst the consumers is increasing, and market is doing really well. I think last year, Pukhtar may also want to add the demand or the market size of the Indian market was close to 6.5 lakh tons. And
Mhm.
this year we are expecting a huge growth of, this reaching anywhere between 7.2 to 7.5 lakh tons as well. So
Yeah.
I see a very promising future. So that's my take on today's topic and the opening remark, as you said. Now,
Yes.
coming to the association, I think I would first like to start with the role of ILZDA and ILZDA itself, because I have been on the other side, right, as a beneficiary of being a member of these associations. So, I think, uh, of course, Pukhtar mentioned that, and Rahul also mentioned that these are both not-for-profit organizations and associations, and provide a lot of marketing inputs as well as technical inputs, global benchmarking, expert advice, etc., to the producers. But I think, in addition to that, what I would say is that these are very well organized forums, common industry forums, where a varied range of participants, right from researchers to academicians to industry participants to consumers, would get an opportunity to share their thoughts, align on certain critical industry specific matters, and get a very diversified perspective of any issue in hand, which I think is extremely important for any policy decision or any kind of change that we are trying to drive. Because if it is just the producers pushing an organization or just the consumers pushing an organization, then that diverse perspective goes missing. So I think that is very much a big value add that they bring on the table. And biggest thing that I felt was, the participation from international experts, the again, if we had a problem like in my Hindustan Zinc days, whenever there was a product related issue or a quality aspect, or we wanted some development on the market side or the product side, I think you just ask about it, and either ILZDA or IZDA would have a solution, who could be the technical expert globally, who could add value and who could, solve that problem for us. So to my mind, I think the role of associations is uh, bringing everyone together at one platform, at one level, bringing in that perspective, and of course the huge network. In addition to, of course, the great database of industry-wide participants and the data related to the market, etc. So that's my take. And yes, I am the co-founder of only one association, that is Women in Mining India, and it's a topic of very high passion for me, because in Indian metals and mining sector there are very few women. So
Yes.
we want to see more and more women, coming forward, taking the center stage and taking responsibility and
Yes.
driving change in the economy. So yeah, so that's about it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ruchika. And on your this thing, I have one or two comments to make. First is, you rightly said that the Indian growth story revolves around the infrastructure development. Every country has some unique, feature for growth, unique direction of growth. As far as India is concerned, and most of the Asian countries are concerned, I think infrastructure development is the key, and infrastructure development is in the center of the economic growth. And if infrastructure development is in the center, you cannot bypass metals, because infrastructure development is not possible without usage of metals. Okay, so that's why if India has to grow, the metals industry has to grow. So that is my first comment. And secondly, as
Absolutely.
regards association, there also I am seeing the active associations like ILZDA and like IZDA. So, but in earlier years, basically associations, who were running the associations? Associations were running by retired people, being run by retired people, or I would go one step further, and they were being run by industry discards. ऐसे हम लोग बोलते थे. But their role would be only to liaison with the government officials and make representation of that particular sector to the government. But now the spectrum of work and the spectrum of expectations has increased so much that these associations are seen as the flag holders of that particular sector. They are expected to lead that sector. They are expected to represent that sector not only with the government, with all the international body, and internationally that sector in our country is known by that, is represented by that body. They organize conferences, exhibitions, and bring international expertise on the table. As you rightly said, networking is the one of the biggest, I would say, virtue of such associations and trade bodies. They are themselves an information hub of that particular sector, information hub, technology hub, everything. So that the role of such associations in today's time is very dynamic. They are supposed to be, many companies, individual companies in any particular sector, they are not as big as they should be, and they are not in a position to access the international data, the international expertise, the international technology, latest technology, and that work is done by the association or the trade bodies. So today the role of association, role of trade bodies is quite expanded, and it will further expand, of course. And I am really very appreciative of bodies like ILZDA and IS, International Zinc Association, and others who are really taking this responsibility and taking the industry, pushing the industry ahead. That is really commendable. Puksar,
No, absolutely agree. Absolutely
yeah,
agree. Sorry. I think, yes,
yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned a
please.
very important point that, which, in fact, me and Fuxer also keep discussing many a times, that the biggest consumer segment of metals in India, whether it is zinc or any other metals, of course, there are two segments. One is a big corporate, large corporate who can afford
Yeah, yeah.
membership to international forums. But then the biggest, in terms of the count or the number of consumers, comes from the MSME sector,
Yeah.
which is where I think a very grounded approach like is being followed by ILZDA as well as ILZDA. I
Yeah.
remember doing, visits to consumer sites, customer sites, along with both the gentlemen on the call today,
Yeah.
really trying to thrash down the problem, sitting with them in one room and facilitating that connect to global experts. That is something which is really commendable and a great value add for the country.
Yes, yes. Yes, as you rightly said, MSME. MSME is the focus area and should be the focus area for such associations and trade bodies, because the big players can afford themselves about the international access to technology or to the information, whatever they need. So, sir, Puk sir, going further, what can be the future areas of growth for zinc, and how the using profile of zinc can change in future?
Yeah, before I answer your queries, Chandekar, I should thank you and Ruchika for the very nice words for ILZDA and ILZDA. I wish both of you or one of you had also said what else could be done by us. We are doing certain things traditionally, maybe based on the feedback from Hindustan Zinc or the customer. What else could be done? What else could be the new area where we can add value? That I would have loved to hear from you, and Rahul also would like to hear from you. Now, coming to you, the question that you said about the future growth areas, see, India, we have been investing massive amounts in infrastructure for the last few years. It was not there in the past, let me tell you. Last maybe 2 decades or so, the infrastructure emphasis in this country is very high. Massive investments like power, telecom, railways, highways, infrastructure, rural electrification, rural drinking water. You've got so many infrastructural schemes which is really stirring the demand for steel. Steel is everywhere, as Ruchika said, everyone know. Backbone of any activity, whether it's agriculture, manufacturing, or industry or service sector, wherever you go, you will find steel, telecom tower, or maybe in other areas, etc. So that is the backbone infrastructure. And last few years, you are seeing National Highway Development Project, Sagar Mala, Bharat Mala, Jal Jeevan Mission, Smart City Mission, which Ruchika said. So all these things, we are investing so much amounts, large investment. So that's really growing or driving the demand for more and more steel. And that is also pushing the demand for zinc. Having said that, I should also tell you, Chandekar Saab and all the participants here, see, galvanizing, for that, you have to send your black steel to your location where galvanizing facility is there. You galvanize and then bring the material back and then do erection of towers or whatever, highway guardrails, etc. So that is where we are now doing galvanizing. If you ask me what are the future areas, one, market-wise, I would tell you galvanized rebars, galvanized reinforcements for RCC structures in coastal areas, corrosive prone areas. This is a huge opportunity there, because every day you are seeing flyovers collapsing, concrete structures collapsing, etc. That's all due to corrosion of the rebar. That's why they are losing the integrity of the structure and they're collapsing. Whereas if you protect them with zinc, galvanized rebar, it gives additional protection from a safety angle, and also the durability of the structure goes manifold, whether it's highways in the rural, the coastal areas, or bridges, flyovers, footover bridges, buildings, wherever you have in coastal areas and corrosive areas. Galvanized rebar has a great opportunity in this country. We are doing very little in the country because civil engineers and architects are the very cost sensitive, price sensitive. They want to have the cheapest protection, either black rebar, or if they want, they will go for epoxy coated rebar. That's all they do. The second application would be, which Rahul will be telling later, use of coated sheets, in automobile bodies. That's very common internationally. It enhances the life of cars by several decades. You are in Mumbai and you will see during monsoon time, your cars get corroded. The body of the car gets corroded and all that. So that would be the other second largest one. And the third one, I would say, is the zinc spraying. Galvanizing is there, all right. You have to send the material and get it back. Zinc spraying can be done at the site, at the location, whether you are installing a foot overbridge or a fencing or any structure in any public infrastructure. Zinc spraying can be done. That has not picked up in this country so much as I wish. Then zinc demand would have gone by several manifold, I would say. So zinc spraying is another potential area which we are not done the scratching. I would go on talking. I would like to restrain myself here. Not audible. Not audible.
Yes, yes. Now I was mute.
Now we can
So
hear.
thank you very much. You have given some very important information. Just one point came to my mind that if you want additional uses, extra uses of zinc in various applications, I think what we have to do, you must be doing that, inserting this clause in the government documents and government specifications for these things. So that I think ILZDA and the International Zinc Association also, you must be putting up a lot of efforts. Now, Dr. Rahul, what do you think on this? Whatever Mr. Pook said, new applications, new areas.
Yeah, so Mr. Pook has already covered most of the applications, but
Yes.
I would like to talk about two or three additional informations which needs attention and which are growing at a much faster pace. So, for example, uh, Indian Railways. So, Indian Railways, they are the largest consumer of steel in India, and by virtue of the largest consumer, they are the largest loser of steel on account of corrosion losses alone. And you know that the track infrastructure, that is a very important component of overall scheme of things of railways. And if any tracks get damaged, then there are repercussions. For example, late running of the train, then loss of man hours, then the lower speed of the trains, maintenance of the railway tracks, and so on. Now, coming to the main point, that the how rails are getting corroded. Rails are getting corroded because of several reasons. For example, birds dropping, animal droppings on the railway tracks. A few years back, when toilets were open, so the feces and the urine that got splashed on the railway tracks, being acidic in nature, it's it the the feces get entered between the liner of the railway track and the foot of the rails. So thus corroding the entire area, and eventually the railway have to replace the rails. So let's talk about the in a layman language. Typically, the life of rail should be approximately 12 years, right? But because of corrosion problem, the railway have to replace these rails within 1.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years, depending on the atmospheric condition of the area. For example, if a railway network is passing through a coastal area, obviously that will be corroded very fast, and railway have to replace the entire tracks within 1.5 years because of the corrosion of the rails. So now, Ruchika was very much, involved in the project when we approached Railway Board, and then now Railway Board did some experiments, what we suggested, and now it has been an RDSO specification. That means Indian Railways will uh, will use almost 1,200 kilometers of rails per year of zinc thermal sprayed rails. So these will be zinc thermal sprayed rails which will last for 12 years. So this is a new application of zinc to protect the rails. Then we have also come up with a new technology it is called continuous galvanized rebar, because the traditional hot dip galvanizer, that is costly, that is not cost effective, and that's why customers were not very much interested in that product. So eventually we come out with a low cost technology, that is continuous galvanized rebar, and first line has already been started in India. So I am sure this product will be a big hit in the coastal areas, or where corrosion problem exists. So
Yeah.
these are the two applications for India, and then there are various other applications also. But I think uh, when India will become more mature, those applications will automatically be introduced in India.
Like what? Just for example, just out
For
of curiosity. I mean, what are these future applications when we will be matching
future
after some years?
applications. Okay, so let me tell you the stealth technology, the
Okay.
fighter aircrafts of B-52, F-16, they have got
Okay.
coatings which
Okay.
cannot be detected by radars. So
Okay.
these are called stealth aircraft. So these are the coatings, these are alloy coatings, and zinc essentially goes into those coatings as
Yeah,
part of nanoparticle.
correct. But we are making what shell this thing now ship now. We are
I'm
making one shell chip. Yes.
stealth chip.
Yes,
No,
which will not be detected by radars.
I'm not aware. Maybe DRDO must be in the process of developing that technology, but
Oh,
I haven't heard that there is a breakthrough in that technology. So I'm
okay.
not sure. Yeah, I'm not aware.
Okay. Okay. So now let's go to Ruchika. She is there now on video also. So welcome again, Miss Ruchika.
Thank
And
you
I believe you are still in the airport.
very much, very much.
Okay. Okay. Now your take.
Airport, which also has structures of steel galvanized with zinc.
Yes. So in the right background. Actually, you are in the right
Yes.
background. So anyway, so I would like to have your take on the whatever new applications, and Dr. Rahul said you were involved in one of the projects licensing with the government. Can you share more details about that?
Yeah, I will. And maybe Pukhtar had asked a question. Maybe if we go in sequence, let me answer or complete that question also. So you asked us what are the possible suggestions. So I think you all are doing already a great job, but I think one area which is more like a learning from some of the international associations, and what we also do quite aggressively in Women in Mining, is using social media to actually spread awareness, do webinars, and expand the outreach. So if both ILZDA and IZDA may be already doing it, but if there is more focus, like a structured plan on social media, increasing followers, capturing, like maybe do some podcasts, etc. I think that will actually help more people on ground who are not even related to the metal industry to know about zinc and its applications, and the good work that you all are doing.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
Noted.
that's right, sir. And happy to help also, if at all.
We
Actually,
will take.
I would like to share, at this point of time, when we were, transforming our activities from physical to digital, we also had a lot of resistance in the initial stages, and people were not really able to, digest that. It's a virtual, what is this virtual expo and all that? Who will come and visit? But because see, this digital space is very transparent, you cannot say something and actually hide something. So whatever visitors are there, we share the database with the exhibitors. Correct. So we whatever delegates are there, we will come to know. I cannot say that there were 1,000 visitors and in reality there are 10 visitors. It cannot happen. So when I shared the database, and when they were first not convinced that digital has so much penetration and so much reach. So this social media, whatever we are saying, digital media, social media is part of digital media. So it has tremendous research and tremendous power. If you can utilize this power in the right way, there is no comparison between physical expo and digital expo. Digital expo is far, far more great value. At least I am convinced, and I am trying to convince the industry. So this is part of that. Ruchika, you may continue.
Sure. So back to your question on
Yes.
new developments or new products related to zinc, and the zinc metallizing project, which is, I think, one project we all are really proud of, because it was a classic example of coordination between a bulk government buyer, their research organization RDSO, and a big producer, and also a steel producer. So it was a very great collaboration between various types of stakeholders to actually bring about that change, and also to do a practical solution. So as we all know that, of course, galvanizing is one of the best solutions to protect steel from corrosion, but then it comes with its challenges, like how to do on-site galvanizing. So, for example, rebars and all. PGR certainly is a great interim sort of a solution, more
Mhm.
cost effective, etc. But zinc metallizing has one biggest advantage, that it can be done, application can be actually happening on site also. So that
Mhm.
is what we were trying to leverage when we did this project. And I think likewise for all the other market development projects also, there has to be a practical innovation led solutioning, which will help scale it up and make it commercially viable as well. So that was a great experience, and we can also see it fructify. I'm sure Rahul is also following up on the progress there. But apart from galvanizing and metallizing and corrosion protection and steel, I have always been a big advocate of the fact that if we compare the global demand pattern versus the Indian demand pattern, in
Mhm.
India, as Pukhtar also mentioned, India consumes about 70% of zinc in galvanizing, 68 to 70%, whether it is long, steel, or continuous, or hot dip, etc. But if exactly the same pattern we compare globally the zinc consumption in galvanizing is 48 to 50%. But the other applications like zinc die casting, zinc oxide, zinc sheet, etc., etc., zinc batteries,
Mhm.
now zinc air batteries, also the energy storage systems, etc. I think that percentage is higher globally. Now, interestingly, these other applications are more zinc intensive in nature. So, for example, 1 ton of steel would consume, say, about 2% zinc
Mhm.
when it comes to galvanizing. But if we talk about die casting alloys, then 1 ton.
You have gone mute.
So more zinc intensity is there.
Your
Uh,
two sentences were blank, so you can repeat.
okay, I don't know what part you could not hear,
Just
but
last two sentences.
okay. So I just gave an example that when we talk about steel, then galvanized steel may 1 ton of galvanized
One
steel would
ton,
have
1%. You said
1 to 2 tons, yeah, 2 tons in continuous, maybe 3 to 4
Yes,
in hot dip, because
yes,
those norms are also reducing day by day.
yes.
There is the coating thickness is also reducing day by day.
Thinner and thinner.
Yes, yes. So now I think we can safely say 2 to 3 tons of zinc per 1 ton of 2 to 3% zinc.
Percent of
But if
zinc.
we talk,
Yeah.
yeah, percentage term. But if we talk about 1 ton of zinc alloys, die casting alloys, then it is highly zinc intensive.
Yes.
85% up to 80 to 85% of zinc, maybe some
Mhm.
aluminum, etc., etc. So
Okay.
I think that is one area where both IZDA and ILZDA, I'm sure, are already working on. Because, of course, there is a galvanizing side of the story, infrastructure projects, construction, etc. But these other sectors also demand, attention. And Pukhtar has been doing zinc die casting seminars, and I know that IZDA has been advocating a lot on zinc air batteries also. But I think in terms of Indian economy now getting educated and helping them step up on these more zinc intensive applications also is one area where industry, academia collaboration will really help.
Yeah, thank you. I was just wondering what would be the applications of zinc castings? Where would they
Zinc
be?
die
Automobile
castings,
industry?
I mean, we have all the experts here, but as far as I know, I think earlier it used to be used in automobiles, then got substituted by aluminium. But all the door handles, knobs, all the
Okay,
bathroom
okay, yeah,
fittings,
Dr. Rahul was mentioning that.
yes, yes,
Antibacterial properties. Okay, okay. So,
All the faucet, Mr.
huh?
Chandekar,
the
all the
faucet.
faucet applications.
Okay, okay.
All the faucets like your shower, handle, and then the wash
They are all
basin,
made of 100% zinc and zinc
100%
plus.
zinc. 100% zinc, the handles.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are light in weight also, no? For that, I mean, zinc is light in weight, so
No, it's not light in weight. It's 3 times heavier than the aluminium. So it's almost similar in weight like steel.
is it? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, but because of antibacterial properties, they are being used.
Because of antibacterial properties and because of aesthetic application,
Okay.
because you can electroplate it, and then most importantly, the wear and tear ratio is minimal in zinc. So that is the biggest benefit,
Okay.
because you close and open faucet millions of times, right?
Yes,
In your,
yes.
in your lifetime. So
Okay.
the threads, they should not wear. They should
Okay.
not bore out. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, thanks. I think we have been discussing for last 1 hour. If any other point, last point, I think starting with Ruchika, then Dr. Rahul, and lastly Mr. Pook. La any last word last point you want to bring to the table, or anything remaining, or
I
just
think only, okay,
okay.
just a small point I will add that along with market development, which is being really driven very passionately by both ILZDA and IZDA. If you think about, again, I'll come to the practical industry part of it.
Yeah.
Market development and product development will always go in tandem because whenever the new application of zinc is being developed, it may not be used in the most conventional, pure LME registered grade zinc, but sometimes there may be some kind of alloying required. Sometimes there may be some kind of, the shape and form of the product may also require some tweaking. So that is where I think a program which also marries product development hand in hand will certainly shape up the future of zinc. I think currently in India there are some alloys being developed, and Hindustan Zinc is doing a great job at developing, zinc die casting and other alloys. But then if you look at the imports data, there are many more variants of those alloys being imported from countries like Korea. So that's my only limited point, and I already gave my suggestion on social media. More and more awareness, because I
Yes,
see the
yes.
aluminum guys doing a
Yes,
lot of
yes, yes.
awareness campaigns, etc. So, and since I am a part of the Zinc family, I'll always be very happy to support that. So, thank
Absolutely.
you very much. And with your permission, I'll again switch off my camera to work out my logistics.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
Thanks for joining. Yeah,
Pleasure.
Dr. Rahul.
Yeah, first and foremost, I would say we need many more volunteers like Ruchika and great brand ambassadors like Mr. Pook. So we need an army of volunteers and ambassadors of Zinc. So that is first and foremost thing that I would like to say. Apart from that, which I already said, that zinc is anticipated to play a very pivotal role in the future across several areas. So zinc have got a promising future. There are several new applications, which are in the horizon, and government is working in the right direction. But again, we require some sort of catalyst. Means it's very difficult to convince a specifier and decision maker, right, to use the galvanized steel, being the costly, because you have to pursue him that at the end of the day you will be the beneficial, because once you calculate the life cycle cost analysis, then nobody can beat zinc or the galvanized steel, right? Because if you are going for non-galvanized steel, then you require a lot of painting again and again on the structure, and that's a huge wastage of money, right? So India being a developing nation, being a growing economy, we require more hospitals, more schools for
Yes.
masses. So that money could have been utilized in building new schools and hospitals and infrastructure. So that's all from my side. Thank you, Mr. Chandekar, for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you. And now, Mr. Pook, your last words.
Last few words, Chandekar sir. Before that, I want to go back to what Ruchika suggested. Certain suggestion, social media. I just want to tell briefly, when lockdown was announced in March 2020, from the month of May, ILZDA started doing webinars, national webinars.
Yes.
Then gradually we expanded to international webinars. And these webinars were on a variety of subjects: galvanizing, die casting, lead batteries, recycling, environmental regulation, e-mobility, all kinds of subjects we covered both through these webinars. And during the 2 years of lockdown, ILZDA did about 30 webinars.
Great.
People were all
Great, sir.
people were all sitting in their houses, and my speakers were from ILZDA, from Brussels or from US,
Yeah.
speakers from Australia, Japan. So we did that. I'm not trying to define necessity is the mother of invention. There was a necessity, and we immediately did that. And later, our friends started asking for physical seminars. Then we started going there. Now more and more people are coming. On 7th and 8th December, I had a battery conference in Delhi, lead battery conference, 200 delegates, 15 speakers from overseas. So they all came. So social media, we are doing it, and even IZTA was doing. Rahul was also doing number of seminars on zinc in agriculture, galvanized rebar, CGL, etc. So we are encashing on that. So I'm not trying to define, we are doing it. Maybe we could also find out some more areas where we can strengthen these activities. My last 2 points would be, government sector is the largest user of steel. Government sector, state governments, central governments, PSUs, Army, Electricity Board, State Road Transport Corporation, Railways, all of them use plenty of steel. So we want to do more and more education to the engineers in the government sector. You keep on educating them, they keep retiring also. Youngsters join and all that. Therefore, government sector is one where we are doing education, interaction, going to their boardrooms, going to their conference room and doing the program there. Just going to their corporate offices. That's what we have been doing. And I wish we could do this more, but it needs more manpower. It needs more willingness from the government sector. And the second point, the students community. Students community. Whenever I go on a holiday or any other official visit or personal visit, I try to interact with the students of NIT. It was NIT Srinagar, NIT Jamshedpur, NIT Suratkal, NIT Warangal, many places. We go and address the student. What is the beauty of zinc and lead? Lead also I am dealing with. And what are the current applications? Electric mobility, renewable energy, energy storage. These are the areas which students are interested much more. And also, like Rahul said, zinc and health and agriculture, which is not known to many people. So we would like to address more and more of students. So these are my final words, Chandekar sir. Thank you very much for bringing everybody on board. But you didn't ask the participant whether they have any questions.
No, as I told you, we are not live now. I'm recording this.
Recording. Okay.
Yeah.
Point well taken. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Pook, and thank you very much, Dr. Rahul Sharma. Thank you very much, Ms. Ruchika Jha, for your excellent contribution in the discussion. And we really know now where the zinc stands and how bright is the future of zinc in the future. So it has been over an hour that we have been discussing this, and I sincerely thank all the dignitaries, all the panelists. And thank you. I think we should stop here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.